Good morning, my dear students. Now let us discuss about the elementary particles. In the last two classes, we have discussed up to fundamental interactions. Even the whole content of the chapter I have shared in PDF form in your group, WhatsApp group. And now I will continue with where I have stopped in the second lecture. And this is a third lecture on elementary particles. Let us discuss about the various conservation laws and the symmetry which holds good in nuclear reactions related to elementary particles. Number one, conservation of charge. In any reaction, the total charge, that is quantum number, is always conserved. For example, you see this reaction P plus P, P denotes protons, gives rise to P plus P, P plus P plus P plus P complement, which is an anti-proton. So it has same charge. If this is plus, this will be minus. We call this as anti-proton, and this is how the reaction takes place. So here the total charge is conserved. The total charge quantum number, we write it as +1 for proton, +1, 1 plus 1. On the right hand side of the reaction, +1 for proton, +1 for proton, +1 for proton, and -1 for antiproton. So +1 and -1 cancel each other. Therefore, 1 plus 1, 2. So the quantum number 2 on the left hand side and right hand side are equal. Thus, the charge quantum number is conserved in any weak interactions or strong interactions taking place inside the nucleus of an atom. Next, second one, conservation of lepton number. We denote lepton number as L. In any reaction, the total number of leptons is conserved. Every lepton particle is counted as +1. Lepton means electrons, positron. They are called leptons. They are involved in weak interactions. That's why they are called leptons. And we count each lepton as +1. And the anti-particle is counted as -1. So look at one or two examples here. You come to this first example, mu plus, it's an elementary particle, changes to E plus, that is positron, nu E, neutrino due to electron, plus nu mu complement. So here, if you write the lepton number, the charge will be +1 for mu plus, on the right hand side, +1 for positron, and for neutrino there is no charge, 0. Even for antineutrino there is no charge, 0. It is equal to +1. So the charge is conserved in the above reaction, charge number is conserved. Next, lepton number, we assign -1 for a positive charge, and even for positron it is -1, and for neutrino and antineutrino respectively +1 and -1. So therefore the leftover charge on the left hand side is -1, and even on the right hand side it is -1. So thus lepton number is satisfied. Next, one more example, second example, mu plus, mu minus, sorry, it is mu minus, mu plus, sorry, it is, let me correct this, In the first reaction it is mu plus. In the second reaction it is mu minus, gives rise to E minus electron antineutrino plus mu m. So minus 1 is the charge for mu minus, and for electron on the right hand side the charge is minus 1, and for neutrino antineutrino charge is 0. Therefore the charge quantum number is satisfied, and in the second line we are writing the lepton number plus 1 for a negative charge. Even for electron it is plus 1, and for antineutrino it is minus 1, and for neutrino it is plus 1. Even the charge on both sides, the lepton number on both sides is plus 1 plus 1. So thus the lepton number is conserved in the above reactions. Similarly, you can go through some more examples given in the textbook to explain the conservation of charge number, quantum number, and also lepton number, taking some more examples. Next, third, conservation of baryons. Baryon number. In any reaction, number of baryons is conserved. For example, baryons means particles heavier than protons. Protons and neutrons are counted as 1, whereas antiproton, antineutron are counted as minus 1. So think of an example here. Neutron gives rise to proton plus E minus plus nu E minus. In this example, neutron baryon number is plus 1, for proton it is plus 1, for electron it is 0, for antineutrino it is 0, therefore plus 1 on both sides satisfied. So thus baryon number is conserved. One more example. Proton giving rise to neutron plus positron plus nu E. So the quantum baryon number is plus 1 for proton, plus 1 for neutron, 0 for positron, 0 for neutrino with respect to electron. Thus, the baryon number is plus 1 on left hand side of the reaction and right hand side of the reaction. In both the examples, baryon number is conserved. And remember, 6 conservation laws holds good in any nuclear reactions which gives rise to a number of elementary particles. And all these reactions takes place inside the nucleus of an atom. The first conservation law is mass energy. That is total energy, mass plus energy is conserved, and then linear momentum of all the particles on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side, they are equal. That means linear momentum is conserved. Even similarly, angular momentum is conserved. The electric charge, total charge on the left hand side of the reaction and right hand side of the reaction are equal. Therefore, charge is also conserved. Similarly, lepton number is conserved, baryon number is conserved. You can explain all these things taking a number of examples. Conservation law for strong and electromagnetic interactions. Under that, number 1, conservation of isospin quantum number. For any strong interaction, remember the total isospin denoted by capital I magnitude before and after the reaction remains the same. For any strong or electromagnetic interaction, the Z component of isospin denoted as Iz, which is a vector before and after the interaction, is the same. In other words, the total isospin summation I is constant for all strong interactions, and summation Iz is constant for strong electromagnetic interactions. Now let us think of 1 or 2 examples for this. Consider the reaction collision. Proton plus proton, proton plus proton gives rise to lambda particle plus k particle plus proton plus pi plus particle. So here the spin quantum number is plus half for proton plus half for another proton. On the right hand side, 0 for lambda particle, plus half for k0, minus half for p plus half for pi plus particle. So thus the spin is conserved in the above reaction. Similarly, if you think of electromagnetic quantum number Iz, Iz means Z component of isospin. It is half plus half for the two protons on the left hand side, and on the right hand side for lambda particle it is 0, for k plus k0 it is minus half, for p plus it is plus half, and plus 1 for pi plus particle. So thus minus half plus half gets cancel each other. So 1 is the total on the left hand side as well as right hand side. Therefore, isospin quantum number Iz is conserved in all strong and weak interactions. Next, let us come to the concept of quark model to explain the structure of proton, structure of neutron, and many other elementary particles, how they are formed inside the nucleus of an atom. We think of sub nuclear particles inside the nucleus, which we call them as quarks. A quark is one of the fundamental particles which, on combining with one another, gives rise to nucleons. Quark combine to form a hadron, that is a proton or a neutron. 12 fundamental particles, 6 quarks and 6 leptons are the basic building blocks of matter in the universe. Whether the matter is in familiar solid, liquid or gaseous state, or even in plasma state, basically they are consisting of atomic nuclei. So therefore, the entire matter in the universe, they are basically due to the interaction of 12 fundamental particles, that is the elementary particles. There are 6 quarks and 6 leptons. In 1964, Murray Gell-Mann and G. Swang independently proposed that hadrons are composed of 3 different new undiscovered particles known as quarks. They are also called A's. They are fermions. They follow Fermi-Dirac statistics and follow Pauli's exclusive principle. What are the properties of quarks? Quarks are elementary with no internal structure. So all nucleons have internal structure due to quarks, but quark do not have any internal structure, and they possess fractional charges. Quarks possess fractional charges in terms of elementary charge E. 6 quarks are named. Up quark is denoted as U, down quark is denoted as D, charm quark is denoted as C, strange quark is denoted as S, top is denoted as T, bottom quark is denoted as B. These are the 6 quarks. Similarly, there are 6 anti-quarks. They are labeled as U minus, that is anti-up, D minus, anti-down, C minus, anti-charm, S minus, anti-strange, T complement, anti-top, and B complement, anti-bottom. So thus there are 6 quarks and 6 anti-quarks. Totally there are 12 quark particles inside the nucleus of an atom. The electric charges of 12 quark anti-quark particles are U equals, you have to remember all these things, U equals 2 by 3 times E. U complement is just opposite of it, minus 2 by 3 into E, and D is equal to minus 1 by 3 into E. D minus is plus 1 by 3 into E. Similarly, charm quark C is 2 by 3 times E. C complement is minus 2 by 3 into E. Strange quark S is equal to minus 1 by 3 times E, and S complement is plus 1 by 3 into E. And T top quark is plus 2 by 3 into E, and T complement, that is anti-top quark, its charge is minus 2 by 3 into E. And bottom quark B is minus 1 by 3 into E, and B complement, that is anti-bottom quark, it is plus 1 by 3 into E. This is how the charge are distributed for various quarks, which are the internal structure of a proton or a neutron. It is due to the composition of these quarks, a proton will be formed, a neutron will be formed, and other nuclear reactions will take place. Remember, all quarks have a baryon number B equal to 1 by 3. Whether they are anti-quarks or quarks, their baryon number is 1 by 3 and lepton number is always 0. Each baryon is made up of 3 quarks, and each anti-baryon is made up of 3 anti-quarks. Meson is made up of 1 quark and 1 anti-quark. Quarks have 3 colors: red, green, and blue. Anti-quarks have 3 anti-colors: anti-red, anti-green, anti-blue. That is cyan, magenta, and yellow. These are 3 anti-quark colors. Meson consists of a quark of 1 color and anti-quark of the corresponding anti-color. Hence, they are colorless. That means quark and an anti-quark combine to form colorless particle. Particles that are quarks exchange are called gluons. Particles that quarks exchanges between them, they are usually called gluons. The up and down quarks make up protons and neutrons. They are lightest and most stable quarks. Next, a proton is made up of 2 up quarks and 1 down quarks. For example, proton P is equal to, look at the example, U plus D. U means up quark, D means down quark. 2 up quark and 1 down quark combine to form a proton. Look at the charge in the above reaction. 2 by 3E is a charge of up quark plus 2 by 3E, and for down quark the charge is minus 1 by 3E. Take LCM, 3 is a LCM, you will get 2E plus 2E minus E. Take E as common factor, 2 plus 2 minus 1 is 3, 3 and 3 gets cancelled each other, and therefore the charge of the proton is plus E. A neutron is made up of 2 down quarks and 1 up quark. Look at this example. Neutron giving rise to D plus U. Minus 1 by 3 times E is a charge of down quark. Similarly for D, the charge is minus 1 by 3E. plus 2 by 3e. Sum up all these things, it becomes 0. That means a neutron do not have any charge. It is made up of 2 down quarks and 1 up quark. That's how we explain the formation of neutron inside the nucleus of an atom. Similarly, antiproton, you can write these reactions. Antiproton P complement giving rise to U complement plus U complement plus D complement. It means antiproton is formed due to the combination of 2 anti-up quadrans, up quarks and 1 anti-down quark. Similarly, antineutron is due to 2 anti-down quarks, D complement plus D complement, and 1 anti-up quark, that is U complement. You just write the charges for all these things and the charge will be conserved, and thus neutron and antineutron do not have any charge. Proton have charge equal to plus E. Antiproton has a charge equal to minus E. Thus, proton and antiproton are pair particles. Neutron and antineutron are again a pair production inside the nucleus of an atom. Quantum properties of quarks. Look at this table. The table I have not drawn neatly. Just go through the columns given in the tabular column. Quarks, their symbol, and then electric charge Q, baryon numbers, strangeness, charm, and spin. These are all quantum numbers, quantum properties of quarks. So we denote 3 types of quarks as U, up quark, D, down quark, C, charm quark. Charge will be 2 by 3 times E minus 1 by 3 E, 2 by 3 E. Baryon number. So here electric charge Q, that is quantum number. We are writing baryon number 1 by 3 for U, minus 1 by 3 for D, and plus 1 by 3 for C. Strangeness, yes, it is 0 for all the 3 particles. Charm will be 0 for up quark, 0 for down quark, and plus 1 for C. Similarly, for C complement, it will be minus 1. Spin quantum number, plus half for up quark, plus half for down quark, plus half for charm quark. Similarly, you can think of for negative particles, U minus, U complement, the spin will be minus half. D complement, the spin will be minus half. C complement, the spin will be minus half. And the list continues here. Quarks, their symbols, B, bottom quark, S, strange quark, T, top quark. Look at the tabular column and remember all the quantum numbers of the quarks. Similarly, anti-quarks, U complement, D complement, C complement, S complement. This complete table, you try to remember to write the quantum numbers for the quarks. Quark model of hadrons. How hadrons are formed due to the combination of quarks, that we can understand from this table. For example, pi plus hadron particle, it is quark content will be U and D complement. That means 1 up quark and 1 anti-down quark combined with each other forms pi plus particle. And baryon number is 0. 1 by 3 for U minus 1 by 3 for D complement. The total is 0. Baryon number is 0. And charge is 2 by 3 plus 1 by 3. Charge quantum number is plus 1. Spin will be 1 up, 1 down, so the total is 0. Strangeness 0 for U up quark, and D complement anti down quark 0 plus 0, it is 1. Strangeness is 1. It is 0, I think. Similarly, you go through the other hadrons in the table given: K plus, P plus, neutron, omega particle, omega minus. So how they are made up of quarks, we can learn from this table. Next, let us discuss about colored quarks and gluons. Quark model violated Pauli's exclusive principle. Actually, all hadrons, leptons obey Pauli's exclusive principle, but the quark model given to explain the structure of protons and neutrons violated Pauli's exclusive principle. Example: proton with 2 up quarks, neutron with 2 down quarks, omega minus hyperon with 3 s quarks and their antiparticles violated Pauli's exclusive principle. To resolve this problem, a new property of quarks called colors was proposed by Gell-Mann and Zwing in 1963. It is assumed that quarks have 3 colors: RBC, red, blue, green, and anti-quarks colors are R complement, B complement, and G complement. Combination of 3 colors R plus B plus Z plus G gives rise to white or colorless for the particle. So look at this diagram, you can understand better. Green and then blue, the first circle green, second circle blue, and the third circle is red. See here, green, blue, red. Suppose green and blue overlap. If they combine or complement, it is cyan. Similarly, green and red gives rise to B complement, that is yellow. And red and blue gives rise to G complement, that is magenta. This is how the colored quarks gives rise to a number of hadrons. Next. R, G and B combinations produce white or colorless. For example, R plus B gives magenta color, magenta plus green gives rise to white, proton P is due to RGB, antiproton P complement is equal to R complement, G complement, B complement, and pion, that is pi particle, is equal to R complement plus R minus G complement plus B complement, and so on. The quantum chromodynamics describes the behavior of quarks characterized by different colors. Quantum electrodynamics describes the interaction between the electrically charged elementary particles. Gluons. What are gluons? Gluons are particles that quarks exchange between them during the interaction, and we call them as gluons. Gluons are massless and they have spin equal to 1, and they travel at the speed of light, and each one carries a particular color and an anticolor. They are the quanta of color field that binds the quarks, that forms the quarks in hadrons. So let me continue for the next session. Now I am going to stop this session, and for the next session